only $45 million for the next 2 years. Baby, I'm Garrett Crochet. I'm the next Randy Johnson. I'll take that, I didn't know that this is what it added up to, so I would offer a 5-year, $69 million contract.
Nice.
That's what it adds up to. So why don't we just be nice and round it up to 70? So 5 years, $70 million contract. Why not? They took the extension and the shot on Yoan Moncada. It didn't pay off, and I understand people are like, oh, the White Sox lost the trade because Chris Sale won a World Series with the Red Sox. Like, you had Michael Kopech and Yoan Moncada. You got their two best prospects. They both made it to the major leagues. They had their own certain issues. Michael Kopech couldn't really play in 2020 and didn't play in 2020, and then 2019 he had Tommy John, so there was a ton of issues there. And Yoan Moncada had issues and lingering effects from COVID, and, when we saw him this year, he looked really good, and he had a really just brutal injury. So, overall, I really don't regret, the White Sox giving that extension to Moncada. Would you give a similar one to Crochet?
If I'm Garrett Crochet, I'm taking that in a second. I get 3 years to prove my wares. At the end of that deal, I'll be 28 at the latest, so I can go back out to the free agent market and make the ton of money I need to. Because right now he's making chump change. What is he making, like $800,000, $900,000? He's not making a lot of money as a starter in the major leagues. So making, 5 times, what was it, 70 million you said? So making millions of dollars, changing your life for the better, and also protecting yourself against injury. Yes, if I'm Garrett Crochet or any pitcher who has injury problems, I'm signing that deal immediately. Only pitchers I don't look to sign those deals are pitchers that's never really had any arm issues and never ever had any injury issues like Dylan Cease. I wouldn't sign a damn thing because I know my payday's at the end of that 2 years. Garrett Crochet needs to run to the fucking White Sox if they offer that deal and sign on the dotted line. Right, I would do that. What about you?
Well, because you have to I would be, again, I thought we've made it very, very clear. I want the White Sox to extend Garrett Crochet. Do I think the White Sox will extend Garrett Crochet? No. We have seen them do it, but it was also a different GM in Rick Hahn that was offering these extensions to players. But I thought that was a good idea for the Chicago White Sox when they did it with Luis Robert Jr., Yoan Moncada, and Eloy Jimenez. We've seen it work out for one of the three players. The Robert one I don't regret, even though he's currently injured. The Eloy one, it doesn't look great because he didn't stay in the outfield, and he really limited his value and then continued to get hurt, so we really never saw him play DH, so that was always frustrating. And the Moncada one, we see the talent. I don't think that they, regrettably gave him money. So I think 1 out of 3 ain't bad, and really looking at the Moncada one, I don't have too many regrets on the White Sox extending these younger players. And I think specifically with Crochet, you're not going to be a team that offers big money to free agent pitchers. Your literal owner went out and said that and said, we're not going to go pay $300 million for a top price pitcher. So if you do believe in Garrett Crochet, you do believe his body will be able to not wear down. He's only 24 years old. You think that with his frame and his big bodied, that he'll be able to last the trials and tribulations of pitching and throwing with high velocity. Why not? Because again, after year 3, maybe you have to pay him, I don't know what 9 plus 15 is, 24 million. I mean, you have to pay him $24 million for the next 3 years, but
if he's that dude,
right? If he's
fucking dropping the bucket,
if he's
at
giving
that time,
right? And it's really, if he's giving you 60 to 65 starts over those 3 years, or not even 60, if he's giving you like 65 to 80 starts in those 3 years, I think you'd be super happy with it. Anything over it, if it's a slam dunk of a deal.
Yeah, and I don't know what would be the holdup there. And as far as those deals, I judge deals on partly on when they were signed. And I know that you're supposed to sign people what they're going to do. And they thought that Yoan Moncada was going to continue being the guy that he was. Top 10 in MVP voting, which, was maybe a mistake there. But I got a top 10 vote in MVP voting in 19. And I thought at the time when he signed that deal, I was like, Yoan, you're underselling yourself. You're taking a couple years off of your free agency. What are you doing? You're going to be much better than this. So I don't fault the White Sox for what they did, even though the results weren't good. Their thoughts were like, let's get these guys inexpensive. And I think Rick Hahn was one of the first general managers to do that as with a lot of players. And you've seen the Braves do that with, I know we talk about the Yoan Moncada and the Eloy Jimenez. I'm going to take a little veer over here and how bad those deals look in hindsight. The deal that Ozzie Albies signed at the time was bad. Now it is somebody should be fired. Like, that agent of Ozzie Albies should be fired. It's 7 years, $35 million. That's it. $35 million. That man should be making $20 to $25 million each year by what he's doing on the field. But that's neither here nor there. So that's what I'm saying. People never bring up that contract when they juxtapose signing players at an early age to get them locked in as a cheap player, because Ozzie Albies is a perfect example of they robbed him, and now no one's asking, or Ozzie Albies is not asking the Braves for more money, and so take your money, Ozzie Albies. You signed her that deal, and the same thing with Yoan Moncada and Eloy Jimenez. No one's, I mean, a lot of people are asking for them to give their money back and that they're way overpaid, but they signed those deals. They were supposed to be cheap by now. So I don't think Rick Hahn did a bad job on signing those deals. Just those players didn't come through with various reasons, and mostly because of injury. But when Luis Robert comes back and does Luis Robert things, that deal is going to continue to be a joke as far as how well he has played and how much money he should be making if he was on the open market.
We all silly like the mayor.